So they would schedule like
Because it goes down to two levels. Like it's wider but not wider. Congratulations on that. You're important to us.
see y'all.
Full circle. Yeah.
Yeah, I won't go film.
Well, it's funny because telling they are right. That's so Were you And then you feel like you feel like you're eating more, right? We're gonna do a couple sets. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. One more set. 1, 2, 3.
It'd be cool to be a photographer.
Yeah. Let me make sure we have everything here. Just the speaker stuff.
Okay, cool. Nice to meet you guys.
For a long time.
In America.
I take my little suit?
Yes. Okay.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at the official launch of the Arizona Education Economic Commission. We will be starting in 2 minutes. So if you're still lingering in the hallways or anything, we will get started in 2 minutes. Thank you. Not all these people get in my room. Well, once again, good morning and welcome. It's a beautiful day in Arizona. My name is Doug. I'm with the Department of Education, and we are happy to be a part of this unique and, never before done type of event. So welcome. If you would indulge us for just a moment, if you wouldn't mind standing for just a moment, we would like to hold a moment of silence in honor of the situation affecting the victims of tragedy in the Middle East and those who are innocent victims who are the worst casualties of all. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please direct yourselves to the video screens.
The key to driving sustainable economic growth? By creating an unmatched, highly skilled, and well-educated workforce. Building a brighter future together in Arizona, where an agile and reliable workforce opens markets and unlocks endless opportunities for business to innovate and prosper. This is the rising force in public-private partnership, where the possibilities are limitless. Welcome to the Arizona Education Economic Commission.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the podium from the Arizona Department of Education, the Chief Strategy Officer and the Chairman of the new Arizona Education Economic Commission, Edward Cota.
Good morning, everyone. Well, it is a great pleasure that I welcome each of you to the official launch of the Arizona Education Economic Commission. So thank you very much for being here. So this unique commission is led by an international group of educational experts and also led by top executives from key strategic industries from the private sector. This is a results-based organization. It is driven by global best practices. You'll hear and you'll see that the Arizona Economic Commission is a true public-private partnership. Developed by the Arizona Department of Education, this commission will raise academic standards, create jobs, and drive economic growth. We're going to accomplish this by connecting adult and career technical education directly with the private sector. This will result in a highly skilled and highly motivated workforce. Ultimately, I will tell you that these individuals, this highly motivated group, will change the lives fundamentally of thousands of Arizona's students and adults alike. And with that, I'd like to introduce you to one of our honorary and founding members, Dr. Werner Bonadeur.
Honorable leadership of the department, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a great day for both Switzerland and Arizona. We are truly honored to be part of the launching of the Arizona Education and Economic Commission. In partnering with the Commission, we hope we can offer valuable support, particularly around vocational and professional education and training. Many Swiss companies have introduced Swiss-inspired apprenticeship models at their U.S. facilities, including Arizona. The Swiss apprenticeship model has also inspired US companies to adopt similar programs. Ambassador Ampronal will talk more about this later today. Apprenticeships are obviously not a uniquely Swiss institution. Many of the founding fathers apprenticed in their youth. Among the signers of the Constitution, Benjamin Franklin was a printer's apprentice. Robert Morris apprenticed with a shipping firm. The Swiss must have learned the secret sauce from the Americans, as we often do. In closing, I wish the Commission great success in encouraging apprenticeships as a supplement to traditional higher education. There's a very bright future for the AEEC initiative in the Grand Canyon State, and Switzerland is committed to offer continued strong support. I now have the honor and privilege introducing Ambassador Jacques Pitlou from the Embassy of Switzerland in Washington, D.C. The ambassador has been a driving force behind fostering the cooperation between Switzerland and the United States in the field of apprenticeships. Let's roll the tape.
Dear friends in Arizona, what a great initiative to create the Arizona Education Economic Commission. Switzerland is honored to serve as a founding member to this worthy and ambitious cooperation. An exemplary model in Arizona and hopefully an inspiration to many other US states to prepare tomorrow's workforce and ensure economic growth with vision. As jobs get more and more complex with advanced technologies, apprenticeship is a truly necessary model of education. But it has to be jointly pushed by two forces, public education and the private sector. Only through this strong partnership, which has been really proven in Switzerland, can apprenticeship be established in a successful and sustainable way. For this reason, I congratulate you on the creation of AEEC. It is a great pleasure to collaborate with Arizona, particularly on the important matter of apprenticeship, and for the very reason that we share strong values and strong strategic interests: innovation, quality education, and economic prosperity. My best wishes of success for the launch of the Commission today. I wish I could be with you to celebrate, but let's keep on creating value together. Thank you, and have a great party.
Thanks to everybody, and I hand it back now to Chair Cotta.
Thanks, Dr. Appreciate it. Thank you. Without further ado, it is my distinct honor to welcome the person who made this all possible and has been supporting this the entire way from day one of his administration. One probably no bigger supporter of CTE than that, but it's my honor to welcome Arizona State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Mr. Tom Horn.
It's a pleasure to welcome you to share one of my initiatives, the Arizona Education Economic Commission. Before I go on, I just want to recognize a few of our participants that have traveled a long way. The Honorable Balz Alplanalp, Swiss Ambassador. The Honorable Dr. Chen Hang Li, Director of Taipei Economic and Cultural Office Education Division, and the Honorable Rochelle Montoya, Vice President of the Navajo Nation. Let's give them some thanks. I'm going to tell you about my obsession in life, so I ask you to keep it a secret because it's an obsession. But my obsession in life is that we improve academic outcomes of students, both those that are college-bound and those that are in career technical education. Now, the first time I said this, my wife said to me, "I thought I was your obsession." And so I said, "Yes, darling, you're my obsession in my private life, but my obsession in my professional life is improving the academic outcomes of students." Our goal is that every student graduates from high school either college or career ready. And our focus today is an initiative directed at those who need to graduate career ready. We have initiated a partnership between the Department of Education and the largest employers in Arizona. We are lucky to include TSMC, the Taiwanese chip manufacturer that has invested $40 billion in Arizona. Lucid Motors, Banner Health, Arizona's largest employer, and the others of the 15 strategic companies that have joined our commission, some of which you will hear from today. It is well known that a number of industries have suffered from a lack of skilled candidates. This partnership is going to cure that problem. I'm going to talk about the contribution of the Department of Education to the partnership and then the contribution of the companies to the partnership. Our contribution at the Department of Education will be to produce the skilled workforce needed by these companies and by the Arizona economy. We will do this through our existing career technical education program and with the help from post-secondary CTEDs. The contribution of the companies will be that they will either show our teachers what skills to teach, or they will provide people to do the teaching, so the students will acquire the necessary skills. If students qualify, for example, for TSMC, the starting salary after apprenticeship will be $70,000 for high school graduates. This will be a tremendous benefit to the students, to the companies, and to the Arizona economy. We are determined that in a partnership between the Department of Education and the private companies, the shortage of skilled workforce will be solved, and the students that do not go to college will still have a bright economic future. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent. Next up, I'd like to introduce you to one of the hardest workers, and she's just been absolutely instrumental in putting this all together, getting everyone together, and she is responsible for adult and career technical education at the Department of Education. I'd like to introduce you to Associate Superintendent Colette Chapman.
Good morning. Yes, my name is Colette Chapman, and I am one of the Associate Superintendents at the Department of Education. The Arizona Education Economic Commission was born out of the urgency to educate and produce a skilled workforce. Two of the sections I oversee at the department are career and technical education and adult education. These two programs are vital to the success of the Commission's mission. We are leaders committed to raising academic outcomes and driving sustainable economic growth. This is a call to action to parents and to students. Parents, I want you to know the opportunities that students have in Arizona. Career and technical education has 90 programs of study ranging from aeronautics to welding, tourism to health professions, and automotive to cybersecurity. There are work-based learning opportunities and youth apprenticeships available. The students who complete a CTE program have a 96% graduation rate. Now this is compared to their cohorts who only have a 76% graduation rate. For you adults, age 16 years of age and up who are not enrolled in K-12 school. Adult education has 21 programs at 100 sites for adult education classes, and this is statewide. These are state-sponsored programs that the department administers and funds. We just had an 85-year-old woman earn her high school equivalency diploma through one of our state education programs. So it's never too late. So to say that I'm extremely excited for the Arizona Economic Commission to begin is an understatement. After you have heard from the people speaking here today, I know you will understand the life-changing opportunities that will come out of this commission that will benefit the students, industries, and overall economic growth in Arizona.
Thank you, Colette. Thank you for everything. Well, it's a big job you've got to do. Listen, this individual I'm going to introduce here has just been instrumental in getting this together in terms of bringing in the ambassador, and really spearheading this. Let me just share just a little bit about her. She's the executive director of the Phoenix Committee on Foreign Relations. That's Arizona's premier international affairs nonprofit. Prior to joining that, in a leadership capacity, she was their public affairs committee co-chair, and she served on the board of directors. She's worked at the U.S. Embassy in Rome, throughout the private sector. She's helped Arizona companies expand throughout the state. She's been involved in multiple international focused organizations, but she's done a phenomenal job at bringing international attention to Arizona. There's so much that has been done that we couldn't do without this one person. She was born in Kosovo and immigrated to the United States with her family as war refugees. So I think she has a very unique perspective on the economy and sees things in a way that maybe we don't, maybe something that we fail. So she brings an interesting dynamic to it. But she's very passionate about workforce development, that I can tell you. And she's really driven also by being inclusive to global best practices. Without further ado, I'd like to please welcome to the stage Arizona Education Economic Commission, our international ambassador and founding member, Tina Waddington.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you to the Department of Education for being up for this task. I'll just tell a couple short stories about how this came about, since Ed did such a nice introduction. The organization I work for, the Phoenix Committee on Foreign Relations, our mission is to grow Arizona's global prominence by providing forums that explore critical foreign policy issues, and we do this by bringing foreign policy speakers and dignitaries to Arizona to educate Arizonans on the world. And through one of these partnerships with the Arizona legislature, talk about a public-private partnership, we get to host delegations from foreign governments. And we had the honor to organize a 2-day program with the country of Switzerland with Ambassador Pitilou, who you saw, and Consul General Apeda. And we were visiting the state, doing a border tour, and the ambassador said, "Hey, you have all of the companies, you have all of the excitement in the world, everyone's looking to Arizona, but you don't have the workforce. Our model can help solve that, and I challenge you to do this through your education, and in turn, I will bring you all the FDI that you would want." And I thought, challenge accepted. And it's just a few months later, I was visiting West MEC programs with my nephew, who did not want to pursue the university track. And I thought, we have the foundation. This is where this belongs. So in a future visit, I worked with Werner and Bides, and we went and pitched the idea to the Department of Education, and they said, this works for us. And it's been a pleasure to work with the team. Kudos to Superintendent Horn for having an incredible team and for being up for such a novel task that I believe will bring a lot of innovation and goodwill to Arizona. And I hope that we can be an example, not just for the rest of the states in the US, but for the world, that we can set up students for success. And I get the pleasure today as the International Ambassador to introduce all of the foreign governments and founding members presented here today. And it's my honor to bring up the Consul General of Switzerland to the US in San Francisco, Consul General Bides Abdana.
honorable officials, dear leadership of the Department of Education, and leadership of the private sector, dear founding members, chair, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, including Tina, I am incredibly honored to be part of this launch of the Arizona Education Economic Commission. I'm the Swiss Consul General in San Francisco. I have a title of an ambassador, but I'm the Consul General, so don't take me for the ambassador to the US. I am the one covering Arizona. And I had the privilege to discuss skills development through apprenticeships in Switzerland and Arizona with some of the outstanding personalities who are present here. Today, I will try to recall the success factors of the Swiss apprenticeship models, touch upon the memorandum of understanding that Switzerland has with the US in this field, and I would like to quickly explain why apprenticeships are so important for the Swiss-US business relations, and of course for the Swiss-Arizona business relations. But let me start congratulating you for a fundamental thing. You have launched this commission in such a short time frame and with essential partners on board. You have made the wise decision to set up a public-private partnership as a framework to create highly skilled and educated workforce in Arizona. It is only with a strong private sector participation that apprenticeship models can effectively provide the necessary skills for the workforce and adapt them to the fast changing needs of a dynamic economy such as yours. So let me quickly tell you why I'm here and why the Swiss model is around in this room. Switzerland has a century-long tradition of upskilling young people at their workplace, trained by experienced professionals at the same place and in this very sector. Today, 70% of people in Switzerland choose an apprenticeship after their compulsory school at the age of 15 and 16. This is 10th grade, which probably here is high school, sophomore in the US. Apprentices typically spend 3 to 4 days at their workplace and 1 or 2 days in school. Their apprenticeships last 3 to 4 years. Once completed, the apprentices earn a federal diploma, and then they can choose if they want to be employed, if they want to go to professional higher education, or if they want to go to university. I'm coming back to that. Switzerland has apprenticeship programs in about 250 professions, from hairdressers to IT and cybersecurity. Young people get their first work experience, but also their first salaries at a very young age. And I can tell you, they're immensely proud of that. Research has shown that 20 out of 25 key work-related skills are better acquired in the workplace than in schools. So we advocate a work-based apprenticeship system in close cooperation with the companies and sector organizations. The training of workforce with our model is agile and can be steered according to the necessities of the industries. Youth unemployment is at a constant low in Switzerland. Research based on long-term data has shown that if you complete an apprenticeship, your risk to be unemployed is smaller than after a college degree. This is what we call employability. But the Swiss system is not only about employability, it is also about permeability. What I said before, young people can start their career with an apprenticeship. They can end it up with a PhD. So there is no one-way track, and there is no second-tier education linked to apprenticeships. Salaries of apprentices in Switzerland are as high as from those who have earned a college degree. I don't wanna preach, but this is our experience, and we cherish it so much. And please get me right, we do not want you to duplicate this system. Every educational system, every economy has its specificities that need to be taken into account. But in that sense, Arizona can pick and choose elements and features from the Swiss system and from others. If they fit into your governance reality, if they fit into the dynamic of your state's economy, and if they fit into what you need as skilled workforce. So, my message is, we are happy to accompany this selection by sharing experiences, expertise, and best practices with you in the future, starting from today, as we have done already a little bit before. This exchange of expertise and best practices is also the idea behind the cooperation that Switzerland started with the US on the federal level by signing a memorandum of understanding in 2018 and by renewing it in 2021. This memorandum of understanding on federal level also covers the possibility to exchange best practices on the level of US states. So Arizona, for instance. That is why we do not need a specific MOU here, but the guarantee of cooperation is there. By the way, signatories of the Memorandum of Understanding between Switzerland and the US on apprenticeships were, on US side, the Secretaries of Education, Labor, and Commerce, which shows the importance of a close cooperation of different policies in order to achieve the best outcomes. By the way, on the Swiss level, it was the president of the Swiss Confederation. That's how much importance that we attribute to these questions. But why? Why is this so important for Switzerland? Switzerland is the 7th biggest foreign direct investor in the US. Our companies have created 500,000 jobs in your country, and we are thriving within your economy. One of the decisive factors to continue to invest in the US for our economies is the availability of a very skilled workforce. That's why we're interested in developing this skilled workforce here in Arizona, especially in the new and upcoming sectors that are linked to technology, because you are a thriving economy and we want to be part of that. Let me just mention an example from Phoenix, where the Swiss company Nagra Kudelski trains already today cybersecurity apprentices. So what this commission will do is very relevant for Swiss businesses and further investments here in Arizona. But not only in Arizona. There is also a great opportunity to exchange experiences and best practices with 2 of your neighboring states, Colorado and Utah, where we see similar endeavors, the same can-do spirit, not as quick, but also great professionalism. We are happy to make sure that not only we exchange the experiences with you, but you also find experience exchange opportunities within the US, because that is to build together a cooperation that will be maybe called one day the Southwestern Champions Apprenticeship Initiative. So, to conclude, thank you very much again. Let me wish all the success in your endeavor. And we are happy and proud not only to be founding members, but also partners of this initiative. And I wish you a wonderful continued day. Thank you very much for having me.
Consul General, and if you wouldn't mind passing a message to Ambassador Pitalut that we rose to the challenge. Now, where's the FD at? Next, it's a pleasure to bring up the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office of Los Angeles's Director of Education Division, David Lee, to represent Taiwan. Please.
Arizona State Superintendent of Public Instruction Tom Horn, Chairman of Arizona Education Economic Commission at Workoda, respected business executives, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First of all, on behalf of the Ministry of Education of Taiwan and the Education Division of the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Los Angeles, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Arizona State Government for inviting my division to participate in this meaningful launch. My office is so honored to be a founding member of this commission. This commission provides an excellent opportunity for Taiwan and Arizona to pursue our common goals of cultivating talents and assisting students in their career development, and to explore new models of bilateral cooperation. Since Taiwan and the U.S. launched the U.S.-Taiwan Education Initiative in 2020, our two sides have achieved many concrete results in language education cooperation exchanges. For example, 19 Taiwan universities have been cooperating with 52 American universities under the Taiwan Huayu Best program, which is related to a Mandarin Chinese program. In addition, Taiwan and the U.S. have passed the U.S.-Taiwan Education Initiative 3-year strategic plan in March this year. The goals of the plan is to include the establishment of an academic alliance between Taiwan, U.S. university, and cooperate in the field of semiconductors, and gradually expand to engineering, science, medicine, social science, and so on and so forth. In the next 3 years, we will continue to deepen the related projects and cooperation foundation of bilateral education exchanges. And our cooperative partner will be from the federal governments of the United States to the local state governments. In recent years, the partnership between Taiwan and Arizona has grown stronger than ever through several successful collaboration in varied fields such as economic, trade, science, technology, and education. The testament to our robust relation is highlighted by the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company's investment here in Arizona. And most recently, the re-establishment of Arizona Trade and Investment Office in Taiwan in March this year. What's worth mentioning is that the National Taiwan Science Education Center and the Arizona Science Center signed a memorandum of understanding in Taipei City last month, which was witnessed by Honorable Governor Katie Hobbs and Deputy Minister Ming-Yu Lin of Taiwan Ministry of Education. Through the agreement, we can exchange best practice and improve international exchange, including sharing existing programs and activities, education and training in semiconductors, science, and technology. In addition, last year, Taiwan and Arizona signed an MOU on higher education. And next step, the Taiwan government is also eagerly hoping to sign an MOU concerning the K-12 education stage with the Arizona government shortly. In order to smoothly implement international cooperation in the field of semiconductor in the U.S.-Taiwan Education Initiative, the Taiwan government has invited universities in Taiwan with Semiconductor Research Institute to organize the Academic Alliance for International Cooperation. And we chose National Taiwan University as the representative university of our side as a focal point for discussing academic cooperation with American university in the near future. These semiconductor universities of Academic Alliance for International Cooperation have been committed to cultivating domestic semiconductor industry talents for the past so many years, and have in-depth industry academia cooperation with Taiwan semiconductor companies, such as providing funds for teachers to conduct research or providing students with opportunities for enterprise internship, and etc. Based on this, we are hoping that through our office cooperating with the AEEC, the university and vocational high schools of Taiwan can kick off more in-depth and comprehensive international cooperation with schools in Arizona. In conclusion, I firmly believe that we can build a stronger and more dynamic academic community and enhance the quality of education and research. Our partnership can also provide students, faculties, researchers, and industry with more opportunities and valuable experiences to pursue their research interests, promote economic and industrial development, and contribute to talent cultivation in Taiwan and Arizona. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director Lee. It would be an understatement to say that the partnership with Taiwan and TSMC's investment in Arizona did not contribute to not only putting us on the map globally, but helping dub us as the Silicon Desert. Last but not least, it's a distinct honor to bring up to the stage Navajo Nation's Vice President, Rochelle Montoya, and our closest partner.
Rochelle Montoya, AHA. I'm here on behalf of the Office of the President, Vice President of the Navajo Nation. Dr. Boone Nygren and myself are very happy to have collaboration with the state of Arizona in regards to education, in regards to anything and everything positive that can come to our nation here in the state of Arizona. And it is wonderful to be here, and it's wonderful to have many of these entities that are here that are in partnership with the state of Arizona, and we're happy to bring these services across the state of Arizona. And again, on behalf of the Office of the President and Vice President of the Navajo Nation, we're so happy to be here, and we're so happy to be a part of this collaboration. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dignitaries. Thank you so much. Dr. Warner, thank you very much. Before we move forward, I'd like to quickly give special thanks and recognize a few of our extraordinary members and people in the audience. First and foremost, I'd like to recognize one of the most results-oriented, mission-driven people I've met in a very long time. It just so happens we have a lot in common. But if you could, please give a round of applause to Mr. Scott Holman from TSMC, the Taiwanese Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. Lucid Motors, thank you very much. Ambassador Albanov also mentioned Nagra Kadelsky, and I'd like to recognize the Kadelsky Group and CEO Andre Kadelsky, so thank you very much. How about this room, right? It's a nice place. This belongs to Helios Education Foundation, one of our phenomenal partners with the Arizona Department of Education and Superintendent Horn. I remember they did a tour with Superintendent Horn, and he absolutely fell in love with all the data. Very great place, but we're in their house. And I'd like to give a very special welcome and thank you. Actually, he can't be here. I'm not sure if he's here yet. He had another presentation to a state board. But I'd like to recognize their Chief Executive Officer, Paul Luna, please. Rich Nickel, Chief Executive Officer with Education Forward Arizona. Where are you, Rich? There you go. Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Paul Townsend, CEO of Sunland Chemical. Arizona Science Center Chief Executive Officer Guy Levine can't be here, but he sends his regards, and he's played a pivotal role from a natural resources and mining perspective. So we thank Guy very, very much. And two others, please. Pilkington Construction Chief Executive Officer Clint Harrington. Is Clint here? Clint, if you're watching, thank you. And Rounds Consulting Chief Executive Officer Jim Rounds has just been a tremendous asset for us. Where are you, Jim? Is Jim here? Yeah, there he is. Thank you very much. As we go forward, I got to tell you, this is an incredible group of individuals tying together the public-private partnership. I think that's what Superintendent Horn had envisioned coming into his administration. This next individual is representing Arizona's largest employer. Many of us probably go there or know someone that has gone there. It's Banner Healthcare, and they've been a phenomenal partner. I think that you're going to see a really strong relationship and be impressed with what they've done. But her expertise and her energy is really second to none within this field. She has an incredible background. I'll touch on just a few of it, but it's quite impressive. So Dr. Noelle Trinder is the Senior Director of Healthcare Careers at Banner Health. Actually, I think you just had 19 years in August, right?
I did.
Is that 19 years? Okay. So as the corporate team that she oversees is nursing and non-nursing academic partner strategies, workforce development, solutions, K through 12 strategy, international talent recruitment. So she does all this for Banner Health, and she also has a new graduate RN recruiting, and all of this covers 6 states. So she's not just doing one thing, she's got quite a group going on. She speaks locally and nationally, and internationally actually on these subjects. Interesting, she attended Grand Canyon University for a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, Walden University for her Master of Science in Education, and Chamberlain University for her Doctor of Nursing Practice. So she's been a registered nurse for 20 years up there? Yeah, okay. But look, she's been here in Phoenix. She's been in the Phoenix area for 23 years. She's married to her high school sweetheart, and they have 2 beautiful teenage children. I really can't say a whole lot more about her, but she's overly qualified to be here. Please welcome Arizona Education Economic Commission founding member, Dr. Noelle Trinder.
Wow, that's me. Okay. Nice to meet everybody. And what I'm seeing in this room and representing Banner Health is silos coming down, right? In our state, between competitors and then international. We have Switzerland here. I mean, that's incredible. That's amazing. So at Banner Health, our mission is to make healthcare easier so life can be better. And through that, as we were reforming after the pandemic, some of our workforce development strategies, we determined that we needed a K through 12 strategy. So one of the very first ones that we talked to, my kids are in this school district, is Dysart Unified School District. And in full transparency, we weren't sure what CTE meant. And I think that's not unique to healthcare or others. So okay, we got to do something about this. And so as I was looking, I'm thinking it's going to be maybe home ec, maybe a little wood shop like I did. And oh my gosh, so much different than when I went to high school. I'm sure when you guys went to high school as well. Dual enrollments, career readiness, different pathways to get to that end result, okay, for Arizona. So as we're talking to all these different schools, wow, this is really, really amazing. The main thing that we see, which I feel that can be done with this through Edward and Mr. Warren's initiative, is to really make things accessible for all Arizonans, whether they be K through 12 or adult, to have a pathway for their career. And for that, I'll be representing healthcare. And I believe I have an Abrazo partner as well. So we'll be representing healthcare, but not only the Phoenix market, right? To Tucson, up into Page, we have Navajo Nation, for all Arizonans to have that ability. I did have a slide about those. It's all good. I have a picture, but we have a collective strategy at Banner Health and K through 12 partnerships being one of those main partnerships, but also it's very important to work with the Arizona Department of Education as well as other partners, because we cannot do this alone. I cannot do this alone as Banner Health, Abrazo, Mayo, all of us, we have to, again, take down those silos and then move forward as a state for our kids and adults. So yes, that's Banner Health, and we're very excited to be part of this work. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Noelle. Thank you so much. Hey, next up, I'd like to introduce a company I think we're all familiar with. You talk about a public-private partnership. We think of aerospace and defense. These are the people that literally are saving our lives, saving the country, saving the world. Let me introduce you. Alex DeLay is the manager of contracts for Raytheon's Missiles and Defense in Tucson, and also a faculty of the University of Arizona College of Engineering. Alex, welcome. Thank you.
Great to be here. I know that we are about 15 minutes behind schedule already, so I will do 3 comments in 3 minutes. And for anyone who knows me, which is a number of you in this room, you know that that's a challenge. So I manage a portfolio of about $600 million worth of contracts, DoD, Department of Defense contracts, work a couple $1 billion worth of proposals each year out of Raytheon. Raytheon is the largest defense contractor of the 5 in the United States. For 60 years in Tucson, we have operated the missile facility, largest missile plant on the in the Western world at this point, providing 66 major programs, missile programs to the DoD, all of our NATO allies, and many of our Pacific Rim colleagues, many of which are in the room here. We have 14,000 employees. We at any point in time have several thousand openings. We literally cannot find people at the scientist, engineer, technician, and support staff at any salary level because frankly, we do not graduate enough of them at all levels, period, in this state and in this country, right? There's a desperate need. So even under normal conditions, we have issues with workforce and we are looking at every conceivable option. These are not normal times, as you're all very aware. Second point, CHIPS Act. Semiconductor reshoring is obviously a huge thing. I see several of the people here in this room that I recognize from the Arizona Commerce Authority meetings, where 91 of the major players in Arizona are gathering every 2 weeks to look at major proposal activities. We are meeting with Intel and TSMC, ASU, the other universities, and any others to look at how do we do that because we are in urgent need of many of the things that are going to be produced here. Workforce is the single biggest constraint on everything that we're talking about for every project. My next 4 meetings today are with other players in this field on the same issue. We can't find people. The third, and I'll keep it short, as a faculty member at the University of Arizona, as someone who has taught at Pima Community College, as someone who has worked closely with JTED in Tucson, as a parent of 9, a grandparent of 23, as an immigrant who has actually experienced real apprenticeship programs over in Europe, I can tell you I'm a passionate believer of the need to totally revamp educational curricula at all levels, the need for internships and apprenticeships of all kinds, and new funding mechanisms desperately. Every person in this state deserves to have the ability to be upskilled in whatever they want to do in their life. So glad to be here. Thank you.
So Raytheon's hiring. Breaking news. Next up, when we talk about Phoenix, Arizona, there's a lot of phenomenal private sector, private companies that are here. Few of them have the international recognition that this next company has. And they've just been good friends. They're just a great family. And I think we've all probably used them at one point in our lives or know someone that has, that's for sure. I'd like to introduce Stu Schoen. He was born and raised in Phoenix, and he's worked at U-Haul his entire professional career. Interesting enough is that he spent 6 years as a teacher at Brophy. But I will quote you, he lives in this community, he works in this community, and he's gonna die in this community. And so he loves Arizona, he loves Phoenix. We're honored to have U-Haul here. They have a huge international presence. As you can imagine, they're not immune to the skilled work shortage that any of us are experiencing. But I think he sees the relationship that we have with the Department of Education and this new commission. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Mr. Stu Schoen. Let Michelle.
Well, I have to start by, excuse me, saying it's very humbling to be here. This is quite a group of people speaking today, and so I'm not sure I belong. It feels like a pretty big deal, and it's a real honor to be a part of it. Thank you so much. I have to say, I think, like the last speaker, I could probably go on for longer than everybody would like, but I think what's going on here is very countercultural. I think that it's countercultural to encourage young people to not go to college necessarily. But I can tell you what I know. And what I know is that U-Haul is an excellent place to make a life, to make a career, meet friends, maybe meet your spouse. That happens a lot. And I guess we're not supposed to talk about it, but it happens plenty. And it's an excellent place to, as I said, have a career, but you can start in a technical field in U-Haul. We're very proud of this, and you can end up as an executive. And that's not only common, but that's how U-Haul started. U-Haul didn't start, wasn't started by anybody with Harvard MBAs. It was started by my grandparents, and it was started by their friends and family who mainly had military experience. And that's in 1945. That's probably the closest thing you could have to an apprenticeship. So these are the people who built U-Haul. These are the people who set the values and the foundation for what I'm lucky to inherit as an excellent place to work, an excellent place to spend my life, an excellent place for my children to see me doing something for my community, both in Arizona, nationwide, and even outside the United States. I certainly wouldn't turn it down if an MBA from a prestigious university wanted to work at U-Haul, but that's not what we need at U-Haul. What we need at U-Haul is people who have excellent values, people who are team-oriented, people who are results-oriented. I appreciate the fact that Ed talks about that. I don't know of a business that's not results-oriented. I don't know of a place where any of us work that's probably not results-oriented. And I don't know if we're talking about that enough. I certainly don't mean to preach either, but I do want to compliment this group and this project and highlight why we're so excited to be a part of it, because what makes someone successful in our organization is first and foremost, of course, the ability to add and subtract is important. The ability to communicate and write, it's incredibly important and even necessary. But what I think is even more necessary and more important is being a career-minded person, being a group-oriented person, being a person who's oriented to service. I happen to believe that every person likes to win. Every person likes to be a part of a successful team. Every person likes to be a part of a group that's accomplishing something. And I think if we can teach that, I learned a lot of wonderful things in my traditional education experience, but I didn't learn a lot about that. There weren't a lot of people talking about that. And so at U-Haul, we'd like to be a part of talking to people in this program about that, and not just talking about it, but actually demonstrating it and showing how it works. The hallmark of the best executives and just all the best leaders, whether they're executives or not in U-Haul, may or may not be that they have a prestigious education that is on a resume, but it certainly is that they're technically competent. They're good at what they do, they like what they do, and they have a handle on their job. And I think that's what this program can accomplish. That's why we're so excited about it. We're very humbled to be a part of it. I just want to appreciate the opportunity to speak today and appreciate everybody that's working very hard to make this happen. Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's an honor to have you, Stu. Thank you. Yeah, it's interesting that, Stu talks about just even basic skills. I think we see that there's a generation gap where some of us are losing that. This next speaker, I would describe as a passion, innovator, and mission-driven. She's an experienced, result-oriented, innovative thought leader. And I would probably say that describing her as highly motivated would be a huge understatement. She's been an extraordinary asset to the commission and has already begun putting together some very big initiatives, some innovative ideas before we even launched. So thank you for that. But she brings extensive experience, knowledge, strategic vision to the commission. And we're very honored to have her. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Arizona Education Economic Commission, the Executive Director of Engagement and Strategic Tourism Industries and founding member, Ms. Carla Bravo.
Good morning. My name is Carla Bravo. I'm with the Arizona Office of Tourism. Prior to joining AOT, I worked with the Arizona Department of Education for 20 years. Education is my passion. So tourism industry is a vital part of Arizona's economic. That's why I'm really excited to be part of this commission and for the opportunity. I look forward to collaborating with all of you to connect students and adults in education and career opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, Carla. This next speaker, he's a phenomenal guy. You'll probably know who it is if we're playing a game and I start to speak here, you'll know who it is. But I've got to go through his background because it's awesome, it's very humbling. So previously he was a dean of the Colangelo College of Business at Grand Canyon University. He joined GCU in 2014 and led the mission to exemplify servant leadership and inspire GCU students to use business as ministry and business as a force for good. Prior to GCU, he served in the United States Air Force for 26 years. He retired as a colonel in 2012 after a variety of operational aviation assignments, including commanding 2 flying units, one in Air Mobility Command and the other in Air Education and Training Command. His previous academic leadership roles in the military were department head at the U.S. Air Force Academy's Behavioral Science and Leadership Department and senior military professor at the Graduate School of Engineering Management, Air Force Institute of Technology at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. He's also held the position of associate professor and chair of the Human and Environmental Systems Department in the College of Technology and Innovation at ASU. He has extensive experience in leadership development, human factors engineering, aviation safety, and visual spatial disorientation. He's published and presented in various academic journals and conferences on all these topics. He's originally from Wisconsin, a distinguished graduate from the U.S. Air Force Academy. He has a Master's of Arts from the U.S. Naval Command and Staff College, and he's earned his PhD and Master of Science in Industrial Engineering, Human Factors from ASU. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Provost and Chief Academic Officer of Grand Canyon University, Dr. Randy Gibb.
Thank you. All that just means I'm old. My honor to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. I look around the room, I see friends, partners, colleagues, and then I see others that I hope we can become friends, partners, and colleagues. Quick plug, thank you to Switzerland and Kudelski Security. I want to give some life to the story, to the previous story about the apprenticeship program. Just about a month ago, a mile down the road, I was at an event with Governor Hobbs where we presented a certificate to a GCU student who was majoring in cybersecurity, who went through the apprenticeship program with Kudelski. She moved with her family here from Mexico when she was in, I think, a junior high. She went to the Phoenix Coding Academy, and as a sophomore, she heard about the program in high school. And as a junior in high school, she started the apprenticeship program with Kudelski. And now now 4 years later, she's a sophomore at GCU studying cybersecurity. She completed the apprenticeship. She has a full-time job offer. That is an amazing story. And we are working, and I know that's part of what this is all about, is how can we take that template, that model, and apply it to any discipline? Please know, GCU, our mission is to provide high-quality, affordable, Christian-based education for all socioeconomic classes of our society. But not everybody needs a 4-year degree, a 3-year degree. We're doing what we can. Most of our students, 26,000, just a couple miles down Camelback from here, 26,000 students studying undergraduate programs at GCU, finishing about 3.5 years. Only about 25% are from Arizona. So students from all over the country are coming here, and almost 70% stay here. So we're trying to help, and I see Jim Rounds back there, and I know that we're short, his economic impact report showed we're short of bachelor prepared students. But not everybody needs the the college degree, what can we do to help everybody, every learner in their lifespan? Well, I think that's also why I was invited, and I'm honored to be part of the committee. About 2 years ago, Mike Greenewald, a dear friend now, as we've worked closely for the last couple of years, he came to us. I won't steal part of your story. We'll do this tag team. But they're short of industrial construction electricians. And he came to us and said, can you guys help us? So we worked backwards. What do you need? What can the union, non-union apprenticeships handle? What can we provide? They gave us the curriculum, industry-driven content. Then we backed it up, and we decided to then start recruit high school students who didn't want to go to college, who didn't have the need or the interest. They want to be outside, they want to work with their hands, they want to build things. We had 300 students apply for 40 spots. And sure enough, we had 40 start in the fall, 40 started in the spring, 4 months, 4 college-level courses, 16 credits. They worked in the mornings, went to school in the afternoons. They went to job sites. They had guest speakers to stay motivated. So we had 74 out of the 80 graduate. We had families come. We did little graduation, and they're working. They're working for Rosendin. They're working for Corbin's. They're working for Hawkeye. They're working for AEC Electric. I learned more about the unions and electrical companies than you can imagine. So that was year 1, 40 and 40. Now year 2, we have more partnerships, more funding. Governor Hobbs just wrote us a check to fund this. Maricopa County helped us. We have more industry partners stepping up. So this fall, we have 120 started. So we're tripling the program, 120 in the fall. We'll do 120 in the spring. All right. We want to scale this. We're also looking at setting up sites. They need electricians in Austin, Texas. So we're working to expand that, grow it, triple it. If you know President Brian Mueller, he does everything at scale. We don't do boutique programs. So we're excited going forward. But there's more. We're also partnered with Benchmark and Modern Industries and Lux Precision Manufacturing. And we just started 20 CNC machinists in an apprenticeship program there as well, right on our campus. We have a manufacturing business up and running. And so they work from 6:30 to 2, take an hour off, and then from 3 to 7, they're in the classroom. Same template for the electricians we're using for CNC machinists, and we have 20 in the fall, 20 in the spring, and we want to scale that as well. And so I'm excited to learn more from you all, what we can do. As I look around the room, I know Scott with TSMC, we're talking to TSMC, Intel, NXP. We want to do a semiconductor technician program. We're ready to go, the same template. We're talking with Raytheon on how to work with AI training as well. So we're partnering with industries. I love the comments about collaborating, stakeholder orientation, working together. So I'm honored to be here and look forward to learning and how we can help everybody else. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jim. Yeah, GCU and again, other partners that you mentioned have just done phenomenal work. The stories are just endless. And so thank you so much. This next guest, you know, when I met him, it was just instant. It was captivating with his story. He's a fascinating journey. He has over 40 years of construction industry experience. He began his career, I mean, he is really the embodiment of what we're trying to do here, right? This is phenomenal. But he started his career as an apprentice electrician. He joined the company that he's currently at in 2002. He started as a division manager in the Arizona office. He grew his team, became successful, moved up, became the vice president of operations. You know, his field management skills, interpersonal skills, his technical skills, and his expertise allowed him to really thrive and show some success. Ultimately, this individual became the chief executive officer of the company, and he continues to build on their foundation to lead, inspire, while positioning their company as an innovative industry leader. And I will tell you that when you're talking about a partner and someone who just gets it, I will tell you that this individual is that person. He just gets it, and he's just a great guy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chief Executive Officer of Rosendin, Mr. Mike Greenewald.
Wow, what a group. You know, lot of you are wondering, what's Rosendin? Rosendin's the largest privately held electrical contracting firm in the country. We do about $2.9 billion a year in revenue, 7,000 employees. Well, that's nationwide. Locally in Arizona, we're about 1,450 employees. 1,100 of those are field technicians or electricians. Most of them started as an apprentice. It's a big lift. It's a big lift. $2.9 billion a year in annual revenue, 7,000 employees. Many of you are our customers. I'm looking at a lot of my customers in this room. And when we're talking about education, I like to talk about my education and how I got here. I went to Sunny Slope High School. I graduated from Sunny Slope High School in North Phoenix. I was the top of the C class. I was the guy in the back of the room. In the back of the room thinking about cars and boats and what time's wood shop. And eventually I found auto shop. Needless to say, I was not the high school counselor's best choice. He wished me well. I graduated in 1977. Following high school, I went to Glendale Community College. They've got a phenomenal automotive tech program. My parents said, you got to go to college. 3 semesters I lasted. And luckily, a neighbor said, you need to be an electrician. You need to get into the apprenticeship. 1979, I started my apprenticeship. 20 years old, I was on my way to Palo Verde Nuclear Generating Station on a public bus. I became a journeyman wireman. I earned my journeyman wireman's ticket in 1983. That's my education. I finished school, went to work. I'm a high school graduate with a journeyman wireman's ticket in my back pocket with 7,000 employees. Shouldn't remind myself of that, but anyway. It's the apprenticeship. Apprenticeship, we've talked about it. It's the oldest form of training in the world. Started Middle Ages. The one-on-one relationships that I had with my journeyman. I had to go through the 8,000 hours of on-the-job training. I had about 750 hours of classroom training at night. That's just the schooling part. The education of working with adults, working with experts that have done it their entire life. When they're teaching you something that they were taught 20 or 30 years before, that's etched into my mind. And as I ascended through my career, I kept thinking about how can we get more people into this spot? And unfortunately, apprenticeships have really past 50 years really haven't been pushed. It's been, you have to go to college, you have to go to college. And I'm looking at my employees as I grew the business, and I'm looking at people that are making a lot of money. They have health care for their families. They have a pension. And I'm thinking, why can't we get young men and women into the apprenticeships? Why? Well, I'm so happy to be here because I think we're finding the answer. But it's just my counselor said you have to go to college if you really want to get anywhere. I'm looking at him, I don't want to go to college. I want a car. I want to go to wood shop. Do they have a wood shop? I don't want to do that. So the best part about my apprenticeship and the apprenticeships that we have right now, we have 200 apprentices working in Phoenix, Arizona. 200. These kids are making about 50 grand a year as an apprentice. They're going to make 200 grand while they go to school. They're going to finish. They'll have a start on their pension. They'll have health care for their family. They're going to finish with a certificate to hang on the wall signed by the governor saying, I am a journey person. They're going to have zero college debt. They can go anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world to do because they have a craft and they have something that a lot of people don't have. They're so skilled and so smart, the ability to work with your hands. Apprenticeships are a lot like college. You learn problem solving. You learn to communicate. You learn to work as a team. That's what it's all about. It's very similar to a college education, but it's just really different and it attracts a different type of individual. The big game changer came when we met GCU. I've been preaching this speech for decades, literally. And the high school counselors would say, well, we want our kids to go to college. When GCU was able to walk into a high school and say, a semester of college, we ended up with 300 applicants for the first 40 spots. And we're getting amazing young men and women that are so happy to have this opportunity. So what we're talking about today is just the beginning. I'd like to say we're a little bit ahead of the current here with GCU, but we need everybody here. And what we really need to talk about is, as we move forward, we've got a lot of businesses here that, we work for you. You hire companies, you hire tradesmen, you buy manufacturing goods. Ask them, whoever's working on your facilities or working for you, do you have an apprenticeship program? Are you hiring contractors that use apprentices? It's very important that right now that the industry asks for that higher quality service workers, higher quality skilled craftsmen. We have to ask if we want to really get this to get across and people to come, take it seriously. So I'm really happy to be here. I'm so thankful that this, my career is 45 years now I've been doing this, and it took about 43 to finally get to this spot. So thank you, everybody. And on behalf of all the C students out there, I'm going to thank you right now for this opportunity we're about to give them. And my parents, who said, it's okay if you don't want to go to college. Thank you all. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mike. When I met Mike, we had a great conversation. And one of the funniest, what I love about everybody in this room is that everybody here, I think you'll feel and that you'll see, they're highly motivated, but they're all results driven, right? But when I met Mike, he was telling me, he says, you know what? We started talking. He says, I want to help. And then, all he said was like, let's get started. And then I get a text or an email from him. He's like, when can we start? So I love that. Thank you, Mike. It's just an awesome story. So we're almost there, guys. I'd like to introduce an innovative visionary, an experienced professional, and subject matter expert. Certainly launching this commission has not been easy. Many hands makes for light work, and I must tell you, almost everybody in here has played just a huge role. But we probably wouldn't be where we're at. This commission is, as I said, results driven, and this next speaker plays a huge part of that. Her academic foundations were laid out at Oxford University. She obtained a bachelor's degree in managing systems information. She expanded her knowledge with postgraduate studies in managing healthcare service organizations at SGH Warsaw School of Economics, and proceeded with her academic journey with a master's degree in the science of healthcare service delivery from Arizona State University. She has years of transformative experience in both the public and private sector, so that's nice. With distinguished qualifications, she's an invaluable leader to our commission. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to welcome Executive Director of Operations and Business Analysis, Ms. Anya Ostrowicka.
Thank you, Mr. Kota. Esteemed guests, before I will start my short speech, maybe it will be a little longer, I would like to start very informal. I just love this atmosphere and experiences we exchanged so far. It's incredible. It is my great pleasure to support the effort of the Commission by providing my expertise in operations and data analysis. Data is a modern currency, and we need to use this potential of data to the maximum to succeed in reforming the education system. I would like to talk about some important numbers and expected initiatives in the context of our effort. The worker shortage in the US has reached the status of a national crisis, with 8.8 million open jobs and 6.3 million unemployed workers in US. In Arizona, we have 191,000 job openings. This is a big mismatch, demanding our immediate and collective attention. Based on available information, only 0.3% of the labor force in US has participated in some form of apprenticeship. This is a huge difference comparing to other countries. About 2/3 of all young people in Switzerland opt for one of the 245, I heard even 250, different vocational education and training programs. And we are talking about young people, generally between 16 and 18 years old, when they begin vocational education and training. This isn't just a statistic. Switzerland is an example of successful model of how integrated vocational education can not only exist, but flourish. Taking inspiration from the effective Swiss model, our agenda sets 6 strategic initiatives that will have form of tangible deliverables. We want to align education with current and future industry demands by forging robust partnerships between CTEDs, adult education, community colleges, and businesses. We want to guarantee high-quality city programs that meet current industry needs through agreed-upon measures. We want to create apprenticeship programs, including youth apprenticeship programs for high school and community college students. We want to increase city and adult education program completion. We want to strengthen recruitment partnership to ensure effective hiring of graduates of both cities and community colleges. And crucially, we will evaluate and improve oversight mechanisms involving careful data collection and analysis. This ensures our strategies are consistently guided by data and continually refined to seize all opportunities. This brings us to the pivotal paradigm shift, a future where education and the job market are interconnected, beginning from early education, persisting throughout the entire academic journey. Our presence here today is not just a participation. It's a promise for a collective commitment towards a future where every job is filled by an individual with skills tailor-made to meet its demands. A future that is not just possible, but is within our grasp. Through unity, through collaboration, and through commitment to the seamless melding of learning and working. Thank you for being a part of this transformative journey.
I think our next speaker, do we have? Right.
In America today, we have some major challenges with our youth. Homelessness, dropouts, kids who are being arrested and suspended, and mental health. My name is Daniel Peter, and I'm an undefeated mixed martial arts fighter, and I'm WWE's Tough Enough champion. Today, I'm the president of Transformational Technologies Academy, where we transform the lives of at-risk and high-risk youth who have faced challenges at their previous schools. We have created a solution. We have proven this in 3 states and over 3,000 kids at 11 schools. Our mission is simple: to create a public-private partnership that serves and inspires our future generations within our communities. At Transformational Technologies Academy, we change lives. We motivate our students. We ensure success. We inspire passion and create results. We support our youth with mental health, belief intelligence, hard skills, soft skills, and get them ready for the real world. We encourage you as a partner to reach out and help us impact more kids. Go to ttaed.org or talk to me and my team today.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce to you a great guy and a good friend of mine, Mr. Daniel Peter.
So Mr. Cota said, we're going to put together economic development with education. I'm like, that's never been done in America. I talked to superintendents and mayors and governors, and I'm like, what is going on? Because the track to go from high school into a trade, I went into Ultimate Fighting, as you guys can see. That was hands-on. I was a C student. I love being a C student. I just wasn't interested, but I was also what they call learning disabled. And they put me in special ed classes because I just couldn't read like other kids. So how do we transform the next generation? And it starts with a group that really gets work done, just like this, comes from international. Switzerland is in the top 6 countries in the world for education. Why are we in the 20s? I guess we haven't learned yet, but because the superintendent Mr. Koda and the team is putting together, this isn't just this morning about let's just talk. We have a whole day that we're working. We're connecting with different people and we're solving problems. So I appreciate everybody here. Thank you for your time and have a blessed day.
Just a real quick note, Daniel, as we're very close to wrapping up here, I just want to call out something that he did, and he didn't mention it, but again, the heart, the unique is that the thing about this commission is that it's led by the private sector, and it's about joining it. So initially, we had started, and Paolo Tuliani Zen, a huge corporate partner of ours and just an all-around friend, and Daniel Pewter, with his company, we took the private sector along with education, and they came up with an innovative idea that they funded and put together and worked with the Navajo Nation. And we were honored to partner with the President and Vice President's office to deliver tablets to some of the students out there in the rural areas of the Navajo Nation that don't have access to internet. They were preloaded with curriculum, and so really it's a game changer for them. And it was the first accomplishment that this commission achieved. We're very proud of that. We're currently, I know that Ms. Paola Tuliani-Zen is looking to expand that, working on getting that so it's scalable. But I just want to thank Daniel, My Life, My Power, and Paola for making that happen. It was just an awesome effort, but it was the very first thing. And in my opinion, it's a game changer, and I'm very proud that the commission is able to announce that. And our two final here, look, can't say enough about this guy, Steve. He's an experienced leader in career and technical education, human capital strategy, strategic partnership development and achievement strategy. Done a lot of work with him. He's a results guy, and that's why we love him. Please welcome Wes Meck, Director of Business Development and Government Affairs, Mr. CJ Williams.
Wow, this is an esteemed panel. Stu, you said you felt like a fish out of water. My grandparents didn't start U-Haul. I'm not an MMA fighter. I'm not an international appointed official, but I am happy to be here on behalf of Wes Meck. We are a career and technical education district. We are the orange district on this large map to my left. You'll see that Arizona has 14 career and technical education districts. And I want to start really by thanking Superintendent Horn, Chief Strategy Officer Edward Koda, the entire leadership team at the Department of Education for having the foresight to engage Arizona's career and technical education districts in this conversation from the onset. We value that, recognizing the role that CTEDs play in Arizona's workforce ecosystem, recognizing the role education plays in preparing the workforce of tomorrow, and convening these individuals in the private sector with education, business and industry experts and leaders from both, all successful in their own right, but knowing that we are better collectively and the strategy that is ahead. We're excited to engage with. I also am joined today with some very VIPs and would just quickly like them to stand. Edward, if it's okay. I'd like our Wes Meck students that are in the audience, if you wouldn't mind standing, just being recognized. The future is bright. Thank you so much, Wes Meck students, for being here today. And I hope you're inspired by the effort that is being put into our future and the pathways that lie ahead for you. And we know that this is not just a convening of people with hopes and dreams, but that are going to take it to the next level. This is going to be a very action-oriented commission, and we look forward at Wes Meck to rolling up our sleeves and engaging in that important work. Thank you so much.
Thank you, CJ. Thank you, Wes Meck. Students, awesome. There's some jobs available over here. You want to talk after? Listen, as we wrap up here, we've got one other person. He's become a very, very dear friend of mine. And I put him last because he's a former professional baseball player. And I've always thought that the cleanup hitter is most important. Our last speaker, he's an educator with 30-plus years of experience serving communities in rural, suburban, and urban districts. He has a background in career and technical education that dates back to his high school educational experience. He retired from Missouri as a school district superintendent and began his new position as superintendent and CEO of WestMec in July of 2022. He was recently awarded, about a month ago, I think, the 2023 Arizona Capital Times Leader of the Year in Public Policy, the 2023 Cognia Circle of Excellence Award, and was previously honored with the 2020 Missouri Association of School Administrators Superintendent of the Year Award. He serves on numerous boards, including GPAC, ABAC, AES, GPAC, probably the Girl Scouts, I don't know. A lot of acronyms, and Superintendent Horn loves acronyms. Sorry, this one is AEC. We'll work on cutting that down. But some additional noteworthy accomplishments is his International Center for Leadership in Education. He's done a phenomenal job of turning schools around. When I talk about guys that just get it, you talk about TSMC, you talk about Scott Holman, Mike Renewald, GCU. I would include definitely in that rank the guy that just calls or texts and say, hey, let's get started, let's go, let's roll. I mean, he just is just energy. He's married to Dr. Julia Spurgeon, and I would just tip my hand there, who's absolutely wonderful, by the way. She's an assistant principal at Sandra Day O'Connor High School. He's the proud father and grandfather of 4 children. And he's an all-around good guy, great family guy. Please welcome WestMec Superintendent, CEO, Dr. Scott Spurgeon.
So I stand between each of you and lunch, so let me get to it. So first of all, good morning to each of you in attendance here this morning. I want to thank Superintendent Horn and Chief Strategy Officer Edward Cota for the opportunity to say a few words and participate in what I believe will be transformative, not only in the state of Arizona, but nationally and internationally in workforce development. About a year ago in a professional development session, we were asked to write down what we believe to be the purpose of career and technical education. I had to pause and think about this. I had to answer the question, when the rubber really hits the road, what is our core mission? Here's what I wrote. Our central purpose in career and technical education is to deliver a high quality, employable pipeline of workforce professionals that meet the individual learner needs and desires and business and industry workforce demands. At WestMec, we provide learners with choice through career literacy, equip them with industry recognized technical skills, provide each learner with real-world, hands-on, work-based learning experiences, help them create industry connections that lead to positive and sustainable relationships, build the confidence and what you would call professional or soft skills of each learner to actively pursue their chosen career path. Doing the work of all of what I just said leads to one thing, and that's this, most importantly, instilling hope in each of our learners for a real and accessible future of economic independence and financial freedom. WestMec, along with the other 13 Arizona Career and Technical Education Districts, CTEDs, continues to be leaders in workforce development as we bridge the gap between education and industry needs, not only in the state of Arizona, but across the nation. But the story doesn't end here. You see, there are 2 sides of this story in the equation: career and technical education and business and industry. We can get our learners to the doorstep, and then we must pass the baton off to the employers to take it from there. This is why the development of strategic partnerships is so critically important in creating a sustainable pipeline of workforce professionals. Individually, we are smart, but collectively, we are genius. These strategic partnerships include pre-apprenticeships, apprenticeships, internships, externships, job shadowing, work-based learning, participation in mock interviews, sitting in on advisory committees to ensure our programs stay on the cutting edge of innovation, and providing expertise from their field in our classrooms centered around specific instructional topics. Through Superintendent Horn's leadership and the vision and industry experience of Chief Strategist Edward Cota to bring together what I believe is a superstar team of state, national, and international professionals, the Arizona Education Economic Commission was established. I could not be more excited about our current and future work together to make Arizona the national leader in economic growth and workforce development. Growing up, my dad used a quote from Andrew Carnegie. It states, "As I grow older, I pay less attention to what men say, I just watch what they do." It is amazing what could be accomplished if you can just get two decision makers in the room who will just say yes. One of my goals as a member of this commission is to work toward the yes, and I hope you will too. Quite often, the greatest ideas come from our ability to navigate our toughest challenges. It's a fact that dreams don't work unless you do. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's time to go to work. Thank you.
Listen, I think that everyone sees here the value of what we're doing. I want to be crystal clear about just a couple of things before we wrap things up, and we're going to have a signing ceremony with our distinguished guests for the ceremonial signing of some MOUs. When this started, the whole difference, and I know we've all been part of a lot of groups, there's a lot of task forces and councils out there, but I think it's really interesting when I hear about GCU, I hear about WestMec. It is incredible what you can accomplish when you have the decision makers there. And I hope that everyone watching and listening, that you see the leaders that are in this room. When we break it after lunch, we're gonna get back in this room and we're gonna get to work. I cannot stress enough, we are driven by accountability and results, not egos and agendas. We all want the same thing. And these aren't nominated people, these are almost recruited and interviewed almost. But it's a hand-picked group. We expect big things. These are all doers, they're executors for some of the state's largest companies. We're honored to have the Navajo Nation here. We're honored to have the Taiwanese, and we're honored to have the Swiss. We're honored to partner with you. And let me just wrap this up by saying, I love having the WestMec students here. This commission wants everyone to win. We want everyone to be wildly successful. So if you're listening, we're rooting for you. Parents, if you want a clear path forward, you want a better future for your children, find a career technical education program. Adults, if you're looking for a brighter future, a better path forward, find an apprenticeship program. Reach out to these organizations. The help is there. Find our commission. And I would ask you also, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? I think that that's why this commission is here, and that's what we're trying to offer. That's what we're going to offer you. I'm convinced of three things as I close. One, CTE, adult and career technical education, is what's going to drive us forward to a better future. Two, I'm absolutely convinced that it's the private sector that's going to get us there. And three, most importantly, I'm honored and totally convinced that this group of individuals is steering the ship, that this is a high tide that's going to raise all ships. So with that, I thank you for your time. Please stick around for just a few moments. We'll have a signing ceremony. It's a great honor to have you, Superintendent Horn, dignitaries. Thank you very much. Welcome to the commission.
We do have several members of the news media here. We are making anybody here on the panel available for your questions right now if you'd like.
Hi, Kristen Norman with PGCC. Thanks for having us. This can be for anyone. Thank you. This could be for anyone, but as far as the TSMC semiconductor facility that is set to open now in April of 2024 due to worker shortages, with the commission, will this be more of a long-term solution? And if so, what will be done in the short term to get Arizonans working on the floor at that location as soon as possible? Thank you.
Please come to the podium.
Good morning. Scott Holman, head of HR at TSMC. I didn't get a chance to speak today on purpose, I think, but because I could go on probably longer than most, but honored to be here, honored to be part of this commission. I'm looking forward to getting work done, as Scott said from WestMec, who worked with him for a long time. This is the start, right? We've hired a lot of people already. I think my biggest fear in What hasn't happened today is not necessarily the workforce that's today and available. It's 3 years from now where I definitely know there's not going to be enough qualified, diverse workers that could come help us in the semiconductor field. So this is the start of it. We've hired a lot. We're going to hire some more, right? But this is a journey, right? The journey we're on is to get us established today and move forward and grow. And the only way we're going to do that is with qualified, diverse workers. And that's why we're all here together committing to go get stuff done. So thank you.
Chair Riley with Arizona National Times. First, 2 questions are more technical. I'm just curious what the timeline looks like at this point, how often the commission will be meeting. And then, not to layer it, but second question, it's a lot of partnerships and changes, but I think there is a bigger question here of changing the culture of what is higher education and how it's defined. And so I just wanted to, ask, how you want to change the culture around higher educational attainment and what that's going to look like.
Yeah, so let's have Anya address the operational part of it. Do you want to speak real quick? And then after that, we'll pass to Dr. Gibb. I think is probably well versed to speak about how that works with post-secondary. Thanks.
Yeah, this is a great question. We are going to work very intensively, but we also need to adjust time when we are meeting to availability of all of these guests. So we are planning to start meeting every month. So next working session is already planned on 12th of December. Between these working sessions, we will be working in groups. All of this will be happening after this press conference. We'll be having discussion. We will be setting goals and deliverables. We will be talking about KPIs and metrics. All of this is extremely important to be able to provide the proof that we are successful for all of us. And we also have promised that we will keep updated media and the society in Arizona, because this what we are doing here, it's not for us, it's for all of us, it's for citizens of the state. Thank you so much for this question, and we want you to remember that we want to be accountable. We want you, all of us, to ask, what are the results? We are here to provide these results. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think the world, high school and college is coming together, right? Your last year of high school is overlapping too much with the first year of college. How can those combine? As well as the world of learning and work need to come together, certainly as presented by everybody this morning. So I know that's what we're working towards, is how do we bring those together? The time we all spent in college trying to research and find articles, and remember waiting for interlibrary loan, but now your phone, you've got it all right here. So why can't higher ed be compressed? Why can't we do things more quickly, efficiently? And it gets back to what I think I shared earlier, was certainly Grand Canyon University and other institutions in the state and around the country are trying to say, yeah, our mission is graduate, doctoral, undergrad, but why can't our mission also overlap so we can partner with community colleges, partner with the Westmex? There's a way we can do this, but that's why we're here. There's not an easy answer, but hopefully we'll figure it out.
Hi, Ballon Over Schools, KTR News. I've been speaking with education and business leaders for some time about this workforce shortage and the alarm being sounded. Yesterday, though, I was at a semiconductor facility being opened with Governor Katie Hobbs, and I asked her, are you worried about getting the workforce to fill these 100 new jobs? And she flatly told me no, she's not worried, and we really don't have a workforce issue here. So I asked Superintendent Horn, I asked the chairman, can you respond to that? And people who don't see this issue, maybe what are they not seeing? Thank you.
I'm back. Thank you. Good morning. I think it's a similar answer I provided previously, and that's, I think we have a good workforce, a qualified, diverse workforce today, but as the data is showing us, as our educators have told us, there's not enough, right? Is it today? I don't think so. Scott's view. Future, I'm very concerned, right? So again, Governor Hobbs has an opinion, and I appreciate that. And I think she may be correct that today, I don't think so. 3 years from now, I think that's why we're here, right? We got to get it in play so we can all be successful 3, 5, 10 years from now. Thank you.
I'll just add one more thing to that for KTR is that, yeah, obviously there's two different types of tracks here, right, for this commission. There's a triage approach, right? So we're looking at 1 to 2 years. And then we also have a secondary approach, right? And that's more of a long-term. So we're talking about, what are we talking about 3, 5, 10 years from now? So when some of us have spoken, actually I've spoken with everybody here, but I think one of the interesting parts from the conversations as we were searching for the right members. Superintendent Horn is very passionate about making sure we have the right people in the right seat. Because you can have the right people in the wrong seat, so we got to have the right people in the right seat. So as we went through this exhaustive search, one of the interesting things that we found was when we were discussing, hey, we have a triage approach 1 to 2 years, it seemed like a lot of the private sector was like, hey, yeah, there's this issue, but what are we doing 3, 5, 10 years down the road? And that's where I'm thinking. That's what this commission's thinking. That's what GCU is thinking about about the future. So I just want to be very clear that we're not there's a 1 to 2 year plan, but we're very focused on what are we doing in 5 years. And if we're playing chess, we're trying to pull a Bobby Fischer and pull as many moves ahead as we can and read that. But that goes back to data as well. We need to do as a commission what a lot of other we can't have bad information. We need to make data-driven decisions on relevant data, timely data. This having data that's a year old that comes in, that's not inclusive to other things. That's you're shooting in the dark. You're not going to hit anything. So there's a lot of work to do. I think that there's a lot of power within this room, but together we can get quite a bit done. Thanks. Good question.
And Noel wants to say something.
Yeah, we just chatting with the superintendent here. Healthcare, right? You hear that all the time about shortages. So this is part of our multifactorial strategy, right? So we have what we currently work with amazing academic partners with think about nursing, our pre-licensure group, with GCU, ASU, NAU, all of them, Maricopa System. This is our planning for the future. So these kids over here, I was like, is anybody in nursing? Like, let's talk. So making sure that we have that pipeline. But here's the really cool thing about this is with CTE, they're going to be ready to go, let's say as CNAs or medical assistants. Start working, start getting that benefits, 401k, and then let's stair stack them up into post-secondary with nursing. So that's some of the strategy, the tactics. That's short-term, then long-term is really building, even starting in middle school, that interest. We do, all of us, that's why we're here, we do have shortages, and we want to have solutions that are focused. And this, again, is taking down all of those silos. You got all these beautiful brains together to be able to help. I think you've got some really good questions about workforce. I'm glad you brought those up transparently.
Other questions from the meeting? Yes, KJZZ. Oh, I'm sorry, Kira, I'm sorry. I'm getting older, my eyesight isn't what it used to be, right?
I'm just curious, what's priority number one? When you break from lunch and get in the meeting, what is the first order of business? Priority number one.
Well, I think we're all going to start with our names again because I don't know if everybody knows everybody. So again, back to the difference of this group. Okay, that's a really smart question. I've told everybody, and I've spoken to everybody in here, and I said that by the end of the day, if you've left and said this is just like any other meeting, then we've failed. This is about collaboration and ideas. I'm sure I can speak for a lot of people in here. We've sat on boards and commissions and there's a lot of talking, just a lot, not a lot of action. We're really wanting to cut that out. As you can see, these are all executives, they're C-level executives. Very little time, very precious time, so we gotta cut to it, right? We sure hope we're not wasting it. So our first order of business is to collaborate. Our objective is to directly pair our CTEs with them. They've got a lot of synergy, what's working for you. And again, I challenge everybody with the question is, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail, right? Let's figure that out. Banner, GCU, there's so much success that we've had here. It's scalable. And again, it's all based upon the Swiss apprenticeship model. We've adapted that, and the first order of business is, again, names, and then figure out how we can get that framework, right, that meets the unique needs and requirements of Arizona. But again, the difference here, what's the first thing is just collaboration, and that's how we're gonna keep it. Yeah. Good question.
I think we're on the glide path to doing the signing ceremony unless there's another burning question from anybody in the media. That being said, all right, let's prepare for the formal signing ceremony. If the principals would gather, and we'll get that taken care of.
Oh yeah, let's get our students here, Superintendent. Let's get our students here first.
I want everybody to know that even though I'm a lawyer, Ed has me signing a document I have not read.
We good? Yes, yeah, you can stay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, we have more to do?
Yes. Okay. Vice President?